Hello fellow artists, hello fellow friends. I wanted to make this video for anyone who has recently overcome any sort of artistic challenge where they might have spread themselves a little too thin over too long of a time. I feel like as artists it's very easy, because we love what we do, to just give it our all and deep dive way too hard into what makes us happy, to a point where we kind of neglect and forget ourselves. If you guys watched my last video, you might have seen that the project I just rolled off of was extremely challenging, huge demand, me trying to do my best, but also too much of it over a too big period of time, with the effect of me ultimately experiencing something like a burnout or getting close to it. The project asked me to do sometimes up to 11 to 12 backgrounds a day, plus animation, plus keeping a team of lovely people in check, which I'm not a leader, I'm not good at that. It's just a bunch of things piled up and kind of overwhelmed me over a long period of time. And now that the project ended a month ago, I've still struggled to kind of find my footing again. I assumed that once this project is done, I was going to be able to really fully, deeply rest, both mentally and physically, and just act upon all the inspiration that kind of bottled and built up in the time when I couldn't really work on personal work because professional work was so overwhelming. I had all these ideas, all these projects that I'm like, oh my god, once I have time I'll just do them all, and now it feels like they're all stuck and clogged up in my brain and I can't access them. I don't know if this sounds familiar to anyone, but I feel like I'm so inspired, I'm so eager to finally get creating again that I don't even know where to start. All my goals that I've been neglecting for so long, be it physically, mentally, artistically, they all want to be met at once, and it kind of locked me into place. I want to reach out to my contacts, I want to update my portfolio, I want to paint something for fun, I want to draw my dog, I want to go hiking, I want to enjoy nature, I want to see calmness, I want to see my friends, I want to live again. It's just all these things that I wasn't able to do with it, just all have all of a sudden the highest priority. I can't figure out which one is my highest priority, and I just can't I just can't find my footing and just start chipping away at all these things. I'm sure I'm not the only one that struggles with this. I think if you love what you do and do the job for a living, and it's so easy for that to just become the only tool in your toolbox, the only thing you do, the only thing you focus on, and it's also the only. And you find yourself with no tools to kind of recharge your battery once it runs dry. Because it always runs dry. It runs dry for everybody, even if you do what you love. I'm aware that I'm super privileged, that I get to do what I love for a living. But it also comes with like super blurred lines between professional work life and life, you know? I went back home, I had a giant big change of scenery, thought that distance to work would help, but I think because this project was so heavy, it's been following me, and this frantic state has been following me. So for that reason, I wanted to kind of scoop you all with me and kind of document my attempts in trying to reset my artistic brain as a person, but also as an artist, to hopefully reach a point again where I can be happy and creating from a place of joy and not pressure and lightness, and also just resting and deeply resting. It's just all these things that I kind of lost on my work experience so far. So I just thought I'll just sit down in a beautiful snowy forest and kind of walk us all through things that I found have been working in a time when I feel this stuck and this overworked and burnt out creatively. So hopefully some people find this helpful, and yeah, let's get to it. Number one, let's start with the basics. Let's recharge our body that we've put through so much these last couple months or weeks. Probably the most simple and basic thing to start with, But I think because of that, it's also one of the easiest to forget and one of the first things that we neglect when projects overwhelm us. The first thing that I seem to be blocking out is what my body feels and needs. When I am super focused on a creative project, the very first thing that I want to do is making sure that our body is fueled. It's so basic, but getting back into drinking a gallon of water every day and eating the food you need, that we sleep enough, that our vessel just has the resources to recharge the fuel. Number two, and the biggest things that I've forgotten is to make sure that you listen to your body and give it the movement that it needs. When I'm super hyper focused on work, especially if the work is fun, the project is fun, I get very used to discomfort and not feeling at home in my body anymore, not feeling healthy and in tune with my physical health. And I kind of need to retrain myself to tune into my neck and wrists and back and legs and stomach to even hear what I need when I'm so focused on work. Just something as simple as like taking a second while working and taking a step back and being like, okay, what do I actually need? What do I actually feel? Do I need to feel exhausted right now? Do I need to feel stretched? Do I feel sore somewhere? Do I feel like there's stagnant energy somewhere in my body? Is anything hurting? Did I tense up on my neck for like hours and hours? Just checking in and then acting upon how you feel and really doing that intentionally. I've been sitting at my desk for 6 years now and I can feel it. I can feel it in my back, I can feel it in my legs, I can feel it in my posture. And it's about time that I learn to act on that again. Make sure I take care of my body, to give it the tools to take care of me in return as well. The important step, I think, is really the tuning in to your body part and really asking yourself what it is that you specifically need in this day, in this hour. And the third thing that I've attempted in this journey of reset is to find a way to really relax your body once all that energy is released, once you feel all stretched and good and exhausted or whatever your workout gave you. Make sure you relax your body. I love going to sauna by the mountains and then just cold plunging in the ice lake nearby, but also taking a hot bath and then afterwards an ice cold shower will do just as well. It just kind of releases all the heaviness and all the tenseness from the workout and all the heaviness from work and workouts, and just kind of gives me a really good deep sense of relaxation and calmness, and really helps. It really helps. The next big step is obviously taking care of our brain. More specifically, this step is about really emptying your brain and just starting from a clean slate. We probably didn't really have the time to take care of our mind in times of stress. So after a time like that, of our heavy workload, we probably find ourselves with a lot of heavy thoughts that we just didn't have the time or the energy to address. They stack up and we don't address them and we don't let them go over the course of weeks and months, and that can really become an uncomfortable and overwhelming thing once we check in with our mind again, seeing a giant mess of so many problems. I don't even know where to start. That's how I've been feeling, especially on New Year's, when I usually like to take a session to just sit down and reset and and check in how the year went and what my goals are for next year. I wasn't even able to do that because there's just so many problems that feel that they need to be addressed first before I can really tap into that space of introspection and gratitude that I want to be in when I set my goals for the next year. I think a really good place to start for me is a very basic one when I want to empty my mind space, and that is really just starting with the basics. Cleaning my space, decluttering my surroundings can, for me personally, really feel like I'm letting go of a lot of baggage around me. It gives me a sense of control and I have a good clean slate to start off of for when I am ready to hopefully create again. And it's such a mood lift for me too. You're moving your body, you're cleaning and tidying your space, decluttering your desktop, doing laundry that you put off in the crunch time that you're in. Anything like that can really boost my mood and confidence. And also, again, a very important step that comes with that, after everything I clean, everything I tidy, after everything that I check off my to-do list, I check in and feel how I feel, hopefully a little bit lighter. Again, just checking in with your headspace, making sure what you're doing is working for you and your brain, and just feeling how, okay, today I took a tiny step into the direction of the person that I would like to be. Once your space is cleaned, it's time to clean your mind, as weird as it sounds. Because just like your surroundings, your brain probably collected even more clutter and junk over the course of your stressful period of time, and that also just needs to be let go as well. It helped me to start, because I didn't even know where to start, with just some brutally honest, ugly stream of consciousness journaling. Not anything organized, not anything pretty, just getting all that junk out. It felt like just kind of like wringing out an old towel, just writing down all the ugly feelings that I had collected, and all the good feelings that I had, and all the thoughts and all the judgy thoughts and all the self-deprecating thoughts, just getting them all out, just so I can kind of physically just empty them out on a piece of paper, see them, then kind of organize them. Makes it easier for me to let them go and let them rest after that. It doesn't have to go a certain way, and this is very personal and different for everybody, but it's been really helping me to just, after sitting down and just writing pages and pages of any thought that came into my mind, and then looking at them, and then you never ever have to look at them again. It's just about getting it out. It doesn't even have to be your journal. It can just be a blank sheet of paper. Just get it out. Clean your brain. Clean your space. Also, on an everyday basis, I've been a huge fan of meditation, and I know many artists are. And this is also a difficult topic because it's such a personal thing for everybody. I know some people don't like to meditate at all, and some people have a very specific way of meditating. Some people are more into manifesting, some people are more into quieting your brain. It really depends on what works for you. But in this case, like for example, normally I like doing guided meditations through an app that help me maybe build my compassion for myself, with the people around me. If I have a specific goal in mind, that's lovely. But at a time like this, when I'm very overwhelmed and cluttered, it's been really nice to just do unguided meditations. So literally setting my 20 to 30 minute timer, sitting down, finding a piece of quiet, maybe lighting a candle, sitting upright, or some incense, whatever you're into, really, just to set the mood and the tone of like, okay, this is the time not to think, this is the time for quiet, this is the time to calm down. And I'll sit down and I will just focus on my breath, focus on the sounds around me, focus on the thoughts that are coming up, and focus on gently letting them go again. If you never meditated, or if you haven't meditated in a while, I'm sure you're aware that finally creating that empty slot in your brain wants to immediately fill it again with so many thoughts, and your mind is so excited to finally have room to process all these thoughts that you didn't get to process. And it can be kind of frustrating, but it can also be very fascinating and almost playful to just, after a stressful period of time, I'll empty my mind, and every 2 seconds a new thought will come in, and I'm just playfully letting it go over and over again. It can be, in a weird way, empowering and a good feeling. So I highly recommend it. If you never tried it, I can talk about meditation for hours. It's been the biggest game changer for my mental health personally, and it's been even more helpful in periods like this. Like, meditation can feel like, because you sit in silence, all the thoughts come up. But the thing is, I feel like the thoughts are there at all times, running rapid fire in my mind anyways. Meditation just helps me to see them and catch them and see my mind clearly as what it is. And if I don't learn to notice them and let them go, I'll always be in that hamster wheel of constant thoughts, and I'll never have the tools to sit down enjoy the quiet and life around me. It's really something that I think you can train, is the capacity to be present and enjoy the world around me. And I think it's something that everyone should try, and I think it's something that can change everybody's life. Now, once you feel physically and mentally resetted, I think it's time to slowly fill your cup again, filling your inspirational vessel, if you will. This is the one that is most fun for me personally, and that's why I made the mistake. Maybe not the mistake, but I had the problem that the moment I came back, I immediately started filling my brain with beautiful places and inspiring things and people before I even resetted my brain and body, like we talked about. And it just kind of created more clutter, more things that I wanted to create, which is lovely, but not being in a place where I could actually sit down and create and act on the inspiration that I gathered, if that makes any sense. In the book The Artist's Way, I forget the author right now, she recommends taking yourself on little artist states every now and then, where you treat yourself to doing something that you truly enjoy and that really inspires you. And since what inspires me personally is nature and wonderful places and old buildings and architecture, I've been just filling my pot, my cup, whatever you want to call it, to the brim constantly. Again, this depends on what inspires you, but because for me it is all these medieval historic places. When I'm such a sucker for like fantasy worlds, I've been going religiously to all these beautiful medieval Christmas markets. There's one that's close to a castle called Kaltenberg. This is close to Munich, where I live. Took the train out with some friends and just soaked up all the beautiful smells and costumes and fires and lights and buildings all around me. Enjoying the Bavarian countryside and reconnecting with old friends as well. Taking tons of reference pictures of my beautiful surroundings, of textures, of lamps, of food, of buildings, of little situations that I find inspiring, just so that I have them. And the same thing happened when I went to another beautiful castle, not in the Bavarian countryside. This is more close to the city Stuttgart in Germany. There's a castle called Castle Hohenzollern up on this beautiful mountaintop overlooking the fields around it. And over Christmas time, they also decorated it with beautiful Christmas lights. And what was great about this is we walked up in a beautiful sunset light, and that was beautiful lighting, a beautiful mood. And they lit the Christmas lights up there. There was also a Christmas market. Even the interior of the castle was all decorated with Christmas trees and stuff, and you could just wander around and soak up the mood, and it's just perfect for me. And then something I think unintentional happened up there too, which was even better. I'm a huge sucker for vampires and dark fantasy lore as well, and this castle happened to just bathe the entire castle in red and blue creepy light. They wanted it to seem Christmassy, but instead it seemed really creepy, and I really loved it. And I just left feeling so inspired, feeling full of Christmas spirit, but also feeling full of inspiration for dark, moody vampire projects that I could do someday. It's just, I also took tons of videos, also soaked it all up. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And then just recently, some friends from America, we all met in Amsterdam, in Holland, where I got to go to the theme park Efteling, which is also, it's kind of a tiny fantasy theme park that is so beautiful though. You can wander around and also take the most beautiful pictures, soak it all up. There's tiny hidden little houses that are beautifully lit, and little miniatures and everything I love. Just going to places like that really filled my cup. I feel inspired and I feel ready, hopefully, to create again. So we got a body that feels healthy and strong and fueled again, hopefully. And we have a mind that is not cluttered and hopefully feels a little bit clearer. And hopefully we found, however that might look for you, something that reconnects us to why we started creating in the first place, why we love drawing, something that inspires us, a heart full of inspiration. With those three things, I still can't expect that I can just bounce back and start productively creating again. I'm still struggling with all of that. Even though I've been repeating those 3 points over and over again for a month now, and I wish at the beginning of the year I would be at a more clean, slatier place than I am right now. But it's important that we're kind to ourselves. It's important that we give ourselves the time. And I've just been taking baby steps, sitting down after an inspiring walk and seeing what comes up, trying to create, not forcefully, not for portfolio, not even for posting, but just trying to dig through all the gunk and all the stuff that piled up and create something that I truly, fully enjoy. Be that hot vampire dudes, or be that a pine cone, or drawing my dog. Creating something that's not of any intrinsic value for my career maybe, but something that I really enjoy. And I'm confident if we keep doing that, we'll get back to a place where we can create again and be the artist that we want to be again and create the art that we want to create again. So thanks for letting me ramble and dump it all on you. I hope it kind of gave other people also some guidelines if they find themselves in a similar spot. I am gonna today focus on my day on emptying my mind some more. Which is, if I don't freeze to death, I'm gonna find a cute little spot here in this beautiful little snowy forest in the Austrian mountains. And I'm gonna try to make sure my toes don't freeze off and try to do my 30-minute meditation here. And later head to the village and do a little journaling session. And I hope you guys can do a similar thing. And maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to create something in the evening that feels happy and light and in tune with what I want to create again. Yeah. Fingers crossed for all of us that we bounce back. If you've been feeling the same way. And yeah, I'm excited to see what we all create this year. I'm rooting for all of us. And I'm sure this year will be a surprisingly great one for all of us. Even if it's not the way we expect. We'll see. Bye bye.